But I think that we make a mistake in thinking that quantitative measurements are the only convincing measurement. Right? There is no more convincing evidence to anyone who's a human being than a story well told. I remember after I finished my book, The Good High School, there was one other person in the country who had done a serious piece of research, James Coleman, a mathematical sociologist, a great sociologist who had lots of statistics. We were both appearing before a congressional subcommittee in education. And we came to talk about high schools. And this was in the days when there were these big, huge computer printouts, right? People were carrying them around like this, you know. And a phalanx of his graduate students came with him to interpret the quantitative data that he had amassed to speak about what was important to the policymakers. I came, me, myself, and I, with really 3 poignant stories from my book. Because I believe that good storytelling is good because in the particular resides the universal, right? If I can tell that story in its full complexity and poignancy and particularity, we will feel identified with it, we will be able to experience the universal themes. I was terrified. This was 1984, much, much younger than James Coleman, who was a senior researcher at University of Chicago. I was a young professor at Harvard. And I was terrified to just come with this, but I believe so deeply in the power of story to convince anyone, whether it's a policymaker or a teacher or a kid, right? And I must say, and this sounds terribly immodest, but my contribution in that meeting was more potent than his rendering of the quantitative data and facts, where people kind of glazed over. And with my stories, where I tried to draw out the universal themes, the universal lessons from this, I felt as if that was more compelling.